everyone. Welcome to Level Up Your Decks. Welcome to some yoga today. If this is your first time doing Level Up Your Decks with us, take this at your own pace today. You know your body the best. Listen to your body. Everybody's different. All those kinds of things. Really listen. This is not about needing to do something perfect or needing to look exactly like somebody else. It's just about what your body needs today. And today we're going to focus on a practice for mental health because that was a request by Owen Lean. So I will do that today. That should be good. But we'll go ahead and start. And just so you know what's happening up here, I'm trying to get a new computer because I don't know if you can hear mine, but it is, poor thing, it is like, it doesn't sound good. So that I can stream these yoga classes and maybe a few other things a little bit without losing the stream, hopefully. That's what I'm working towards. So if you do enjoy the practice today, and it does help me to continue to be able to bring this practice to you. So if you think of it as a donation class, being here, donating what you can, every little bit really does help. So I appreciate that. There's a donation link right below that will update this nifty little bar. Anyway, there's my cat. Say hi, cat. Say hi, Zuko. She might say hi. She's a cat. Anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and start. I think that's all of the things. So let me make sure I can hear something. Whoa! That was very surprisingly loud. I apologize. All right, we're going to use pretzel rocks again today. I think it will work well for our purposes. No attacking, Zuko. Don't listen to Maru. Okie dokie. Here we go. So, let's start. Start seated today. You can start on your back if you'd rather. Either one of those will work. And the biggest thing when you're looking at mental health practice, yoga in general is, any yoga you do is beneficial for a mental health practice. It's kind of hard to say that you're going to do something really specific. The biggest thing on doing something specific is, one of these days it'll happen. Sure. But the biggest thing on a mental health practice is you can focus on something I've not really brought in yet, which is a mantra or an intention. So the idea is essentially having maybe it's a thought, maybe it's a word, maybe it's a phrase, something that the mind focuses on, because really the biggest benefit of yoga is helping the mind and body be present and growing that awareness. So the awareness is about being able to hear what the body needs, being able to maybe feel muscles in a new way, because we're moving the body in a way that you really don't generally move it from day to day. A lot of it is about that. A lot of it is about focusing on the breath, and a lot of it is honestly, it takes time. If you are somebody who wants to meditate, meditation is a skill that you get better at, and it's sort of the same thing in that aspect of yoga. So don't feel like it's something you got to be perfect at right away. But a lot of it is just about learning how to be present. It's hard to do. My brain doesn't even like to do it most of the time. But there are some techniques you can use to work towards that. Okay, so music's a bit loud. Will do. Thank you. Let me know if that's better. Hopefully it will be. Alright, so today, let's just start and let's focus. If you have something you want to focus on, and really it can be anything that you might want to focus on today. It doesn't need to be, it could be literally something like I want to focus on self-love today, or I want to focus on being relaxed today. It can really be anything that resonates for you. You can use that. If you don't know of something today, let's just focus on being present. So focusing on that as fairly concrete of an idea. It doesn't have to be concrete. But let's let that be the intention or the mantra. And how you're using that is letting it be what the mind focuses on. If you catch the mind wandering, just like in a meditation, essentially, you want to bring it back to that thought and whatever else will bring you to that. So being present is very much about being aware of your space. So for me, the biggest thing that helps is to listen. So just listening to anything I hear. It could be the music, it could be, I mean, my computer's making awful noises, so I could listen to that. It could be someone who walks by outside. It really can be anything, because that all draws you to right here, right now. And it's hard to do, so it's sort of about continuing to remind yourself. As you move through the work, through the poses, you can use those to draw you into the presence. You're focusing on the breath. You're focusing on what you feel. So these are some of the aspects, the ideas when we're focusing on a mental health practice that you're looking for. Using the poses to help keep you here. Using the way it feels in the body to help keep you here. So let's go ahead and close our eyes. You can, again, start on your back, or you can start seated if you want. You can even start standing. It's just really however you feel comfortable. But we want to start with that awareness. So don't change anything in the body. Just see where it is right now. Notice where the breath is. Notice if you're feeling tense. Notice if you're feeling relaxed. And then let's find a nice deep breath. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let it be an audible sigh. Doesn't have to be loud, but just audible. And this is a breath that helps relax the body. Let's find one more of these. And then after the last one, we're going to switch to inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And we want both the inhale and the exhale to be full and deep. So one way to really be aware of those deep breaths is to find a 3-part breath. And to really feel it, you can place one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. So as you inhale through the nose, you want to fill the belly first. Then move to the ribs. Then the chest. And then on the exhale, exhale out chest, ribs, belly. And you can continue that. Really feeling that breath. And this is the breath we want to bring into our work. So the 3-part breath is about teaching you to feel how to fill the lungs fully and then how to exhale out all that air. So whenever you feel ready, you can drop the hands, but continue that breath. And then let's take a moment to turn attention to the body and scan through it. Move from the head down to the toes. And just go one part at a time and continue that scan. Don't really stop on anything in particular. And you're noticing the parts of the body that are comfortable and the parts that are uncomfortable, because we just want to be aware of what is. We're not changing it, we're just noticing it. But as you are scanning, if you do find a part of the body you want to just be gentle with today, make a note of that. You can even place a hand on that part of the body to make a mental note to let it guide you through the practice to adjust for it as you need. You never want to do anything that hurts. There's a difference between working the body that can be considered pain and hurting the body. And learning that difference is important. You don't want to hurt the body. Good. On our next inhale, let's sweep our arms up. Let's bring hands together. Exhale, hands to the heart. If you're on your back, go ahead and come to seated. Hello, welcome to anyone who's joining us. We're just starting. Just continue this breath again, in and out through the nose. We still want that 3-part breath. Obviously, you're not going to be able to focus on it in the same way. But now to keep your mind present, focus on the movement. Focus on how it feels in the body. Focus on matching the breath to the movement. These are all the aspects that kind of help calm and focus the mind. Which honestly, sometimes that's what we need. We need to be able to get out of our own heads in a sense, right? It's not about really forcing any positive thought on yourself. That doesn't always work. Sometimes that just makes you feel worse. But it's just about kind of being here instead. Good. On the next inhale, let's bring just one arm up. We'll add a stretch through the side of the body. We'll exhale back down. We'll inhale the other arm up. And just continuing side to side. Let's do one more on both sides. And then let's go back to center. And once here, place hands on thighs. And we're going to move through some circles. And we're going to move all the way up the spine. So I really like this because this, for me, really helps my mind focus. So start by hinging forward from the hips as far as feels comfortable. And then we're going to take these circles to the side. Or we're going to go to the side. We're going to come up to the top. Exhale, come down to the left and back forward to center. All right, we're going with the breath, so we're inhaling as we come up, exhaling as we go forward, and focus this movement on the base of the spine. So we're down at the hips, we're at the base of the spine for this movement. Doesn't need to be fast, just needs to be with the breath. Listen to the body. And let's go the opposite direction, still focusing on the base of the spine. Let's find one more circle. And then going the same direction, we're just going to move up to the belly. So think about this circle being there. So much of this kind of stuff is about putting it in the mind and trusting that it'll move into the body. It's not really about being perfect. And of course, you want to be gentle with the body. You don't want to do anything that's going to hurt it. But it's not about being perfect. It's just about sort of that trust and that awareness that we're growing here. Good, and let's go the opposite direction. We're staying in the same location, so just putting that awareness down to the belly button, the belly area, and thinking about that being your circle. This is really great to like warm up the spine. Good, let's move this circle up a little bit higher to kind of the stomach, right at the base of the ribs where the diaphragm is. So thinking about the circle being there, almost like there's a center line going up through the center of the body and you're trying to move the belly all the way around that line. And we're still doing the same breath, so we're exhaling as you go forward, inhaling as you come back. And let's go the opposite direction. And then let's move up higher to the sternum. Just thinking about moving that part of the body now. This really helps you isolate aspects of the body too, and become aware of those aspects of the body. And let's go the other direction. Still here at the sternum, still with the breath. And I'm going kind of fast. You don't have to go this fast. I have a tendency to speed up. That doesn't mean that's what you need to do. Good. Let's move up to right here at the base of the neck. So again, we're kind of moving the whole body. Don't feel like you have to move the neck in an uncomfortable way. But just think about this being the main part that's circling around. Let's go ahead and go the other direction. Good, and then one more circle here, and let's come back to center, seated nice and tall. So that's actually something you could do. You can follow the chakras instead. I was following the similar area, but you can go all the way up to the top chakra if you want. But for our purposes, I'm not going to do that today. Instead, we're going to roll one shoulder back. Just roll it through, warming up that shoulder and arm. Still breathing deep. Yeah, it is kind of like a dancing snake. It feels even more that way if you go higher, because then you go, what, third eye, and then there's the chakra that's right above the head. I think there's one. Oh, we sort of did the rest of them. Let's release this arm, switch to the other. It's interesting because my reaction to some of that kind of stuff is kind of like, this is silly, it's silly. But sure, maybe it is silly, but at the same time, I can feel a difference in my body. And really, that's what is important. I think that can be true of yoga in general. I do have a reaction to it sometimes to be like, this is silly. It's silly. People will think this is silly. But it doesn't really matter. It might be silly for some people, but if it feels okay for you, then great. All right, so let's release the shoulder. And now on an exhale, let one ear drop towards the same shoulder. Inhale back up. Exhale to the other side. Good, and just go side to side a few times. Ooh, my left side's tight. I feel that. Let's do one more on both sides. And we'll meet back at center. And let's swing the feet around. Let's come to all fours. And we will flow through cat-cow. So make sure joints are stacked. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Feel free to add some cushion under those knees if you want with anything you have. When you're ready, we'll round through cat. And we'll inhale cow. So we're curving through the spine for cow. Good. And just going with the breath, moving from the tailbone to the head. Make sure elbows don't lock. Fingers are spread wide, or use fists for wrists if you want, which I often do. Let's find one more through both. And after the last one, let's come back to center. Now, a really good thing for mental health is to kind of mess with the brain in a sense. So doing things on the opposite side of the body. So we're going to do spinal balance. So on an inhale, take the right arm and the left leg out in line with the spine. Flex the foot, reach from fingertips to heel. Exhale, come back down. We'll switch sides. Left arm, right leg. Same thing. Good. And just continuing from side to side. So this makes the body think, or the brain rather, think in a different way, which is good for the brain in general. Yes, Bondo, I agree. Being comfortable being silly is difficult. It can be difficult. Even when you're by yourself. At least I find that, which seems ridiculous, but let's find one more on both sides. Good. And then coming back to center here. Let's go back to child's pose. So we'll sit back on our heels, forehead to the mat. Take a moment. You can rock side to side, massaging the hips a little bit here. I have a package being delivered. That better be my package that was lost. It probably isn't. All right, next inhale. Let's come up to down dog. So, oh, hello, kitty. So curl the toes under, lift the tailbone to the highest point. We'll alternate heel press. Press down on one heel, bend the other knee, switch back and forth. And as always, go with the breath. Breath, 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 breath. Ooh, me too, Maru. Another cat would be great. Right, Zuko? Alright, from here, let's go ahead and walk up to the top of the mat. And we'll reverse swan dive. Bend knees, hinge from the hips. Come up. Let's float through chair a few times. So exhale, sit back, weight into heels and hips, arms sweep forward. We'll inhale back up. That startled me. And just keep going with the breath. Oh no. Cats make you sneeze, huh? Not yet. Let's do one more. And let's release to mountain. So hands by our sides. So for this, we're going to mess with the brain a little bit more. So on an inhale, we're going to step back. Let's start with the right foot. We'll come back to a lunge. We're going to take the right hand to the right hip, left arm to the sky. And then on the exhale, we're going to step all the way forward and take elbow to knee. So we're sort of finding a crunch. Inhale, step all the way back. Good. So go with the breath. Don't feel like you need to rush. Just got to mess with your balance a little bit as well, probably. Woo! Let's do one more on this side. We'll come back to mountain and let's switch. So step back with the left foot and left hand to the left hip, right arm to the sky. On the exhale, we're taking elbow to knee. Inhale, reach back and up. Going with the breath. Again, you don't have to go at my speed. Let's do one more. Good, coming back to mountain. Good, let's move through a sun salutation. So on an inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Bend knees, come all the way down. On an inhale, lift halfway to monkey. So hands on mat or shins, torso's coming about half. Back to child's pose, or if you want to do the full version now, you can. Or follow me through this kneeling version. So we'll inhale forward to kneeling plank. Shift forward a bit. Exhale, kneeling crocodile. Release hips and belly to the mat. Use the core to lift the shoulders into low cobra. And then exhale, lead with the hips. Come back to child's pose. And then we'll step to the tops of our mats to forward fold. On the inhale, reverse swan dive. And we'll exhale, chair. Good, inhaling back up. Swan dive down on this exhale. Inhale, monkey, lift halfway. Exhale, option 4, down dog or child's pose. So down dog's the full version, but you could do the previous one if you want. We'll inhale to a plank, full or kneeling. Shift forward onto the toes. Exhale, crocodile, full or kneeling. Inhale, pull the belly button through, flip over the feet for up dog or low cobra. And then exhale back to down dog or child's pose. And you can walk or step back to the top of the mat. And on the inhale, it's reverse swan dive. And let's exhale, chair. Good, let's inhale back up. Let's exhale back to chair, and let's hold this pose. So arms can be out, they can be at the heart, they can be on the thighs for a supported chair. It's really up to you. But just find those deep breaths. I always like the heart as an option. I also need a drink of water. Good. On our next inhale, let's step back from our chair with the right foot to warrior one. So the back foot's at about a 45-degree angle. So toes are turned out just enough for the foot to be flat, but the hips to turn inward. Front knee is bent, and we're going to find chest expansion. So clasp the hands if it's comfortable, or you can hold an imaginary beach ball. Good, but press down into both feet, reach through the top of the head. Squeeze this right glute to tilt the hips forward a bit, and keep this right hip turning in. And then breathe, I'll turn this way too so you can see it. But breathe into the stretch in the chest. Also for warrior one, you can have the heels kind of in line, or you can railroad the feet a bit more. It really depends on what feels best for you. Keep holding. Good, let's find one more deep breath here. And on the exhale, let's release our chest expansion. And let's switch to warrior three. So working on balance to get the body to do something a bit different. Let's start with hands at the heart. And we're just going to bring weight and balance forward into the front foot. Picking up the back right leg. Right leg is, the whole right leg is in line with the spine. Foot is flexed. You can hinge as far forward as parallel to the mat. You can be almost standing or anywhere in between. Hands can stay at the heart. They can go by the hips, palms facing the mat. Whatever feels comfortable. But make sure this left knee doesn't lock. And reach through the body from the top of the head through that back heel. Try and avoid turning this hip open. It's really easy to do. Good, next inhale, bend this left knee. You're going to turn the hips open to the long edge of the mat and step back into warrior two. So the back foot is about parallel to the short edge of the mat. Feet are in line. Left knee is bent. Let's bring the arms up to shoulder height. And we're going to find some movement in the arms. So this is called a flowing archer arm. So we're going to bring this back arm all the way forward. And on an inhale, we're pulling a bow. Good. So exhale as you bring this back arm up. Inhale, pull that bow. And you don't have to actually bend your fingers or anything. But it's just the action of it. Let's add the leg to this movement. So we'll straighten the leg on that inhale, bend the knee on the exhale. So again, the body's doing a lot of different things here, which makes the brain work in a different way, focus in a different way. Good, so the next time we come through, we're gonna hold the archer arms. So we're gonna keep this right hand at the shoulder. It doesn't have to be pressed right up against it, but we just want to keep it at shoulder height. We're reaching back through that elbow and forward through these left fingertips. Front knee is bent. Press into both feet. Hold here for just a few deep breaths. Good, then on our next inhale, extend this back arm out. We're going to pinwheel to the mat. I don't know if we've done this before. We're going to bring the back hand over the head. Peel the back heel off the mat, returning the hips forward so we can come down to a lunge. And we'll step back to down dog. And take a moment in down dog to breathe into the legs and the back. Good, let's move through a vinyasa. So, fuller kneeling. When I do the full version, we'll inhale forward to plank, on or off the knees. Shift forward onto the toes, exhale crocodile, on or off the knees. Inhale to up dog or low cobra. And then exhale back to down dog or child's pose. Good, let's walk back to the top of the mat. From here, we'll inhale, we'll reverse swan dive. Hello, get off my mat. Reverse swan dive. Exhale, chair. Holding here. This time, you can make it a balancing chair if you'd like. Lifting heels off the mat one at a time, coming onto the toes. Just an option. You can also keep heels on the mat if you prefer. Good. Let's drop the heels if they're lifted. Next inhale, we're going to step back with the left foot for warrior one. So, again, back toe turns at about a 45-degree angle, so the hips can still come forward, but that back foot can be flat. Front knee is bent. Finding chest expansion again, clasp the other hand on top. So this is another thing that is weird for the brains, where we almost always clasp our hands the same way. So do that if you're clasping. If not, you can also hold the imaginary neutral if clasping is not comfortable. But press down into both feet, reach through the top of the head. Focus on the breath. Sounds like it's raining. That must be crazy. Next exhale, let's release our chest expansion. Bring hands back to the heart. We'll find warrior three. So again, weight and balance forward onto that front foot. Pick up the back leg. I'm probably going out of camera range here. And again, you can be almost parallel to the mat. You can be almost standing. You can be anywhere in between. Hands can come down by the hips. They can stay at the heart. But think about reaching from the top of the head through that back heel. That reach, it's dynamic tension, so we're reaching from end to end. That's going to help you find balance here, keeping the body activated. I'm going to turn this way so I don't turn my back to you. Good. Next inhale, bend that right knee, come up, turn hips open to the long edge of the mat. We'll find warrior two. So back foot is about parallel to the short edge. Right knee, right toe stay pointed towards the front of the mat. Right knee is bent. Arms up at shoulder height. We'll find our archer arm on this side. So we'll flow first. Bring this back hand up on an exhale. Inhale, pull the bow. So you're kind of dragging the arm across the line of the body. Good. Go with the breath. Let's add the leg. So on the inhale, straightening. Exhale, bend. Let's do one more. And then after this last one, we'll meet at the archer arm and we'll hold here. So the front knee is bent. This back hand is at shoulder height. The elbow's at shoulder height. Reaching from elbow through fingertips. Good, let's find a deep inhale. On the exhale, extend this arm out. We'll pinwheel to the mat. Back hand over the head. Peel the back heel off the mat. Come down to this lunge. We'll step back to down dog. Take a moment here to breathe into the legs and back. And let's move through another vinyasa. So inhaling forward to a plank, full or kneeling. Shift forward, exhale to a crocodile. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. Exhale back to down dog or child's pose. And from here, let's walk back to the top of the mat. Forward fold. And on an inhale, we'll reverse swan dive. Let's exhale, hands down to the heart. We're going to find an eagle pose. So this one, pretzel rocks, you're so talkative. So this one, we're going to bring weight and balance to the left foot. I don't know if we've done this one either. We're going to wrap the right leg around the left. Toes can come all the way around the calf, or they could go to the mat. For the arms, we're going to cross left over right for a hug or a wrap or stack for eagle arms. And then bend the knees, sink down into the pose a little bit. So it's kind of like chair. We're just going to hold here. I'll stay this way. Focus on the breath. Let's find 2 more deep breaths. On that second exhale, release the arms, release the legs, shake them out if you'd like. And we'll switch sides. Ooh, it's hot in here. Okay, weight and balance to the right foot. Draw the left leg up again. Wrap the toes around the calf or to the mat. I go to the mat. For the arms, right over left. Hug, wrap, or stack for the eagle arms. And we'll bend the knees, sinking into this pose. Focus on the breath. Find a static focal point for the eyes as well. Balance is a really good way to focus the mind because it kind of forces it to focus. Find one more deep breath. Exhale, release the arms, the legs. Shake them out if you want. Good. And then here, let's inhale, both arms up. Swan dive down. Bend the knees. Come down to forward fold. Take a moment in forward fold. You can shake. You can nod the head. You can cross the arms. You can wrap them around the legs. Whatever feels comfortable. Just make sure the knees stay soft. And then from here, let's step back to all fours. And let's come all the way back to child's pose, actually. In this child's pose, with arms over the head, find a prayer position. Bend at the elbow so that prayer position goes over the head. And we'll just stretch the upper arm a little bit. All right, next inhale, let's come back to all fours. Let's go ahead and sink hips to one side. We'll swing the legs around to seated staff. And we're just gonna find a hamstring stretch. So sitting tall on these sits bones or butt bones, feet flexed, nice long spine. When you're ready, we're gonna hinge forward from the hips if it's comfortable. Stop when the spine begins to round. And we'll hold here. Just looking for the stretch in the thighs. And for these forward folds like this one, you can use a sinking breath. So that's extending out the exhale like a sigh, kind of like we did at the beginning of our practice, except it's still in and out through the nose. But extending that exhale out kind of allows the body to release into these stretches a bit more. Let's find 2 more deep breaths here. The second exhale, let's hinge from the hips. Let's come all the way back up. Good. And then from here, let's bend the knees, placing the feet flat. We're going to find tabletop. So find ankles and knees in line with the hip sockets, hands behind the hips, fingers turning in towards the body. On an inhale, we're going to lift the hips as high as feels comfortable into tabletop. Squeeze the inner thigh to keep knees in line with the hips. Chin can stay tucked in or head can go back in line with the spine. But we're just holding here, always breathing deep. Also try to make sure elbows don't lock. Let's find 2 more deep breaths. On the second exhale, we'll gently release. Good, and then from here, we're gonna cross the legs. So come to an easy seated pose. And let's fold over the legs. So So we're just gonna fold forward over the legs. You can let the background. This is nice to kind of stretch the top of the glutes a little bit. And the next inhale, let's come back up. We're going to cross the other leg on top. So there's another thing that's kind of messing with the brain, because I don't know about you, but I never sit this way, so it feels very strange. My legs don't understand. Good, then we're going to fold back over the legs. Good, next exhale, let's come back up, and staying just like this, let's let one ear drop towards the same shoulder. We're just gonna hold here. Think about reaching through the top ear. And then let's use a hand on the side of the head to tilt the head back to center, and we'll just go to the other side. Same thing, reach through the top here. Try and keep the spine nice and long as well. And then let's use a hand to tilt the head back to center, and then we're going to let the chin drop to the chest. Keep the rest of the spine nice and long. And then let's use 2 fingers on the forehead to help tilt the head back to center. Let's place feet flat on the mat. We're going to move to our backs. So place both hands behind one leg. Use that leverage to come all the way back to the mat. And then let's switch to bridge. So place feet flat on the mat, ankles and knees in line with hip sockets. When you're ready, on an inhale, lift hips up as high as feels comfortable, and we'll hold here. So squeeze the inner thigh a little bit to keep knees in line with the hips. Find those deep breaths. And that work. Next exhale, let's go ahead and roll back to the mat, one vertebra at a time. Let's come to knees to chest, drawing both knees in, hands are behind the knee joint on the thigh. And take a moment, rock side to side if you would like, or just hold the pose, but we're releasing the back. Then let's take the legs to the sky, soles of the feet over the hips, holding here and legs up the wall for a moment. What's on my foot? Get off my foot. And then we're going to switch to a straddle. So with feet flexed, let legs fall open. And we're just looking for the stretch in the hips. And you can use hands to support the legs. Hey, thank you, Eric. Why didn't my notification go off? What are you doing, Streamlabs? Thanks for the subscription, Eric. I don't know why Streamlabs is being a jerk. Next inhale, let's bring legs back together. Let's drop the right foot to the mat. Run across the left ankle over the right thigh. And we're going to switch to a twist. We're going to let both legs fall to the right. Take arms to a T. Turn your gaze to the left. And just release into this twist. Yeah, I think you're right, Eric. Being a big jerk to me. Because I've got some cool little things that pop up. Alright, exhale, come back to center. Let's switch sides. Draw the right leg up. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. And let both legs fall to the left. Turn your gaze to the right. Oh my god, that hip is really tight for me. Hello, hip. But just release into the twist. Right on the next exhale, let's come back to center. And we'll move into final relaxation so you can find Shavasana, which is corpse pose. Laying flat here if you want. Palms turned up. Or you can come to seated or any other position. But turn your attention back to the breath. So this is another moment where we want to be present. So we were doing it with movement, and now we can use the other senses. Focusing on the breath, you can focus on the sounds, you can focus on what you feel. You might notice that different parts of the body lift off of the mat and other parts press into the mat. Just being conscious of the things around you. And if you catch the mind wandering, bringing it back to those senses. And just letting the breath be deep. You can also focus on the breath. You could count the inhales and the exhales. And as you're here in this present moment, noticing how this is the only thing we need to focus on. There's nothing else you need to do right now, but just be here. There's time to just take a few minutes, a few moments, to just focus on your surroundings, to focus on how you feel. And it's okay to not be good at it. And let's start to wiggle fingers and toes. Add wrists and ankles, just rotating them around. And then stretch arms over your head. If you're on your back, reach from fingers to toes. Let's add the face, opening the eyes wide and the mouth, sticking out the tongue, taking a deep exhale. Stretching the face, the jaw. And then if you're on your back, go ahead and roll onto one side. And then you can use hands to come to a seated position. And then once here, let's inhale both arms up. And we'll exhale, hands back to the heart. And very dramatically with this music here, take a moment just to check back in after the practice, to kind of come back to the present. Thank you all for joining me this morning and sharing your practice. Namaste. Thank you guys. So I hope you feel a little, maybe more mentally focused now. That is the goal. And I would really like to know what is happening with my notifications. Do you guys see this? Whew, those two musics together sound cool. Huh, I don't know why they're not popping up, you guys. I just straight don't know. It is not very nice. Maybe they need to come up higher or something. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Yeah, I guess Eric could have broken it. Guess it could have been that. But yeah, thanks for joining me today. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm all about answering those sweet questions. Yeah, but again, if you enjoyed this today, it does help me continue to bring it to you. If you feel that you can donate at all, there's a donation link right down here. You can click that, or you can put ! Donation in chat. I think most people blame Eric for things like that, I suppose. That seems to be Eric's MO. I don't know why. I don't know what that's about. This down here. But, you know, it is what it is, right? It just is what it is. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. And if any of you guys are going to Gen Con, I'm going to be there next week. I can't believe it's almost Gen Con time. But we've got Saving Throw has, if you guys know Saving Throw, I think most of you do. But we have a whole lot of shows. We've got 4 different shows for you. I'm in 2 of them. I'm in Pugmire and the Wild Cards live show. And we have 3 different panels, which I'm doing one of them, which is the streaming RPGs for players and GMs. So there's them's things. You should check those out. This should be exciting. But, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else. Do you guys have anything else? That's your plan, to be a real hot mess at Gen Con? Well, I mean, that sounds good. That's what you do. You go on vacation and go crazy, right? Because there's not anybody there who will know you. That's the goal. That's the main goal. Oh, awesome, not yet. Then I will see you at Pugmire. For whatever reason, that one's not being streamed. Don't know why. The rest are streamed on Gen Con's channel. The rest of our live shows, we have Tempting Fate, Wild Cards, and Uncanny Valley, which should be good. We had 1 live show last year and 2 panels. So we really upped it. We upped our amount. We were able to do a whole lot more this year, which is great. I enjoy it. All right, guys. Well, I guess we can say goodbye for now, but check out tomorrow. I'm going to stream some cooking probably tomorrow afternoon, so keep your eyes open for that. That should be fun. And if you don't already watch Wild Cards, and you would like to, you can tune in tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/SavingThrowShow for some Savage Worlds, Buffy-esque horror college craziness. It's the second half of our Christmas episode. Christmas in July. So you should check that out. Yes! And more of this, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Although next week it will just be Tuesdays. I will be at Gen Con on Thursday, of course. So none of that. And then also soon I'm going to do a craft making a clay owl stream. So those are things that are happening. Those are things. But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And yeah, if you have any other questions, you can always tweet at me, or that's also my Instagram. Let me know. Talk about things. Do whatevs. Sweet. All right. Well, I will go ahead and sign off for now then, and I will see you guys on Tuesday or tomorrow, hopefully, for some cooking. Maybe later today. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to have time today, but if I do, then keep your eyes open. All right. See you later. Bye.